Welcome back, everybody. And no, you're not confused. You didn't click on the wrong video. We're inside right here. For now, it is Wheelin Wednesday. I can't remember the last time we initiated a Wheelin Wednesday from inside the building. This Wheelin Wednesday is pretty much the same as the last installment of Wheelin Wednesday. Oh, there's the big man. There's the big man. Bruce, the FMS FJ40. It hit it perfect. He is, in my estimation, the perfect trailing weapon because he weighs like 14 pounds. He's an absolute blast to drive, to the point where this is now okay. We can show you the on the road configuration. This is his radio as it currently sits. Okay, it's not like it's back-breakingly heavy, but it's not exactly light. This is a little bit like doing exercise. We're refining it. Every time he goes out, he's in a slightly different configuration, and we're gonna keep throwing stuff at the wall until it sticks. So before he goes out today, what he needs done is there are levels of support that are provided to the canyon, and at the very top, you have my wife. My wife allows all of this to happen. All of these shenanigans are, let's say, sanctioned by that ruling body. Immediately below that, we have the osmium level, which is the rarest metal on Earth. The osmium level supporters of the canyon. One of whom sent in this delightful double motor winch after, sadly, I had made this bumper that I made a lot of work to weld. As you'll see, it does not fit in between those vertical posts, and there's a light down there. But you know what? We can take care of that. So before we go out and do the thing, which is make this arm extremely tired, and I won't have to wear a sweatshirt because it's like 15 degrees warmer outside than it is in here. We got a little meat locker vibe going on. I have some over ambitions for what we can get prepared before we head off. Honestly, I think he needs another leaf added to the pack because he is real robbly bobbly. Or follow me here. Maybe I don't need to add a leaf to the pack. I just had this thought right now. You're experiencing thoughts in real time. We're using some Amazon little shockies back here. They don't leak too bad. They leak pretty bad. They were originally sold as internal spring shocks. I can just put some little soft springs in there, and I think I guess because of where we have under hood, that's another thing that needs to get addressed today. The first is I'm going to move this light. I want to retain the light, but I'm going to have to figure out how to fix that. We're going to build a little aluminum plate that first we will mount this to, and then it will be attached to the bumper via a method that we will determine on the fly. I've got 3M tape. I've got drills and taps. I don't know what we're actually going to do to get this down. I just want the backs of this up against here. And while we're at that, while we're on it, while we're doing it, I have to come to a decision. Are we just going to snip the wires off? It's a dual motor winch. It seems a shame. Will we be using the winch at any point? No, but is it cooler to have a functional winch? Yes. Also, stretch goal, and to get to that stretch goal, we're probably just going to have to, I don't look forward to it. Bruce kind of evens things out by being just an immense, a truly fulfilling driving experience, but working on this platform is not conducive to mental health. Basically, to get to anything underneath the vehicle, you have to completely remove the body. And there are parts of the body that are attached to the chassis underneath. It's a little bit of a struggle bus, but I feel like to get to the shocks, to get the wires snaked in, we also have to address the hood. See how nicely it snaps shut? Out on the rock, well, out in the dirt, sometimes a little bit of rocks, it just pops open. I have no idea. Hasn't come to me yet. I'm hoping that when I have the body off of the chassis, we can, because right now it's just these two little posts stick into these two little holes. Ooh, I wonder if the microphone picked up my belly. I want it to be simple. But I don't know what that is. Hopefully, with the body off, something will come to me. It snaps together so nice. Every drive out there, I don't know if it's the frame to, it is. It's twist. And because he weighs 14 pounds, that twist just pops it right open. So it might be as simple as a little magnet. So, magnet here, put a bolt or a piece of steel down inside there, or vice versa. That way, even if it pops open, see, the reason it stays up is that twist. It won't let these fall down into the holes. So shave those off, maybe. Epoxy magnets right there. Put some steel posts down in there. That way, the hood can kind of slide side to side without popping open. Also, I need to find an appropriate paint pen or something. On the full-size FJ40s, this part right here is always black. I guess I could cut a little piece of vinyl. Is that... No, I guess that's just the amount of play that's in it. Okay. We don't need to go through the arduous process of me removing the body, of taking him into, well, 3 pieces. We'll get the body off and we'll remove the bumper so that we can attach this to the bumper, because we can do that independently of the body as we have a metal thing in our way. Okay. I'm going to disassemble him into 2 pieces. We'll get to this. We'll get to taking a look at the shocks, which are unfortunately 70 millimeter, and there is not a huge number of 70 millimeter shocks out there. And he uses every bit of the travel. So we can't go to a longer shock. He's got to run 7. Well, no, we could. If we got really ambitious, we could make shock towers for the front and put 80s on there. Maybe. We might do that. In the rear, though, we'll have to look at it. Leafs are in the way there. Could I make a cross brace and lean the shocks? Let me get the body off. That's his big 4,300 pack charging over there. Don't worry about that. I think I'm getting used to it. I think I've had it apart enough times now that, well, the first thing with Bruce is you got to keep a bench brush handy, because he tries to bring the whole riverbed home with him. There is the beautiful GCM LRT2 gearbox in there. And we're going to add another, I should have started the whiteboard. We're going to add another task to our list, which is we're going to swap that motor while we have them apart. That is a Fusion SE 1800. I make basically all motor selections when it comes to this guy based purely upon what percentage of overdrive are we using. I mean, what percentage of cruise control are we sitting at when we're moving at a normal walking pace? And he's right around 75%. So about 75 on the cruise. I have a Fusion Pro. He's running an 1800. I mean, I don't have a Fusion Pro. We're going to steal a Fusion Pro from one of the other members of the fleet, whom I do not believe, based on their gearing, actually needs a Fusion Pro. They will be perfectly adequately suited with, oh yeah, yeah, with an 1800. So I need a little more. You know you're there when you want to buy shiny things. Doesn't look too bad. I thought we'd get a little bit of rust on it from the. I mean, yeah. This is definitely a situation of don't eat until after you've washed your hands. It's all basically river water all over him. I'm going to take a heat gun and I'm going to remove that goop. And then we'll have a clearer sight. Oh, another thing. So this little box right here is a little cobalt. We can held on with a Velcro strap, little cobalt box. It's got some little trail side necessities, cross wrench, couple different hex keys. A couple of them are to adjust like camera mounts and stuff. It sits on the roof until something better comes along. Because it's really quite effective. It stays closed. It is held on with a big long battery strap. It's blue. It matches. I don't really have a problem with it. It just looks like a big rooftop box. We will cut a piece of aluminum. We're basically just going to mount this. I was kind of worried about how far it was. Oh, did you just see it too? That's out a little far. I think what we might go with, I might end up having to desolder this, because as I was lining it up, I happened to notice it's outside the posts. So we can retain this thing's winchiness, like it will still be a winch. We're going to make a little aluminum guy that goes, okay, I don't want to put my thumbs in that anymore. And no matter how hurly and burly 3M automotive trim tape is, you put it under a heat gun for like 15 seconds, and that just comes right off. Luckily, we have access to certainly tiny little scraps of aluminum, and so we really only need a tab. We really only need a tab that wide. How will that look? Like cosmetically? The base that's under it right now is really close to mounting it, but it won't give us the ability to actually physically retain it. If this mount was just the tiniest bit narrower, but I have already committed. We're building a new base for this because I don't like these little flimsy bases that winches come on. And if we do decide, if we go a little mad and we decide to use this as an actual winch, I want it to be very firmly mounted, not on this. You will see. Let me get one more screw out. You will see that this is mounted to a plate that is like the thickness of cut a fool with it. 1 millimeter, maybe? It has those little risers. Yeah. I like these fair leads with the rollers on them. And that allows us to just mount it out on the front. I'm probably going to have to cut and resolder because I want this mounted to the bumper. Yeah. I don't think that's out too far based on his scale. The winch is definitely a good scale to the guy. You know what I never did? When I made this, I was so excited to bolt it up. We never got to the weighing of it. 400 grams? 0.87 pounds. What? Holy cow. That winch is 0.3 pounds, 1.2 pounds for the bumper and the winch. That's one way to add front weight, and we're going to add a little aluminum plate here too. Okay, so I'm doing the math, right? Because here's the deal. You have to mount the winch from the bottom, and then you have to mount that to this, and we can't mount that from the bottom because... Or can we? I just want a simple aluminum plate. I'm going to make that. I can tell you one thing that's actually factual. I'm glad that I decided to disconnect these, both for the routing, and they're not soldered. They just used little crimp fittings. It all just pulled apart. As soon as I put any tension on, I sliced the heat shrink. As soon as I pulled on it, it all just came apart. So, that's a winch plate, yeah. You'll notice these two holes are not centered. That is because I chose two random spots, did not mark them, drilled through the chassis. So how I have decided, how I opted in the flow, how we're going to mount this is, I just bought myself a 2mm countersink. I'm pretty glad of it. I used the existing wafer-thin plate to locate the mounting holes. Drill them out 2mm. I have these real little short carbide 2mm bits that don't walk, wander, or move, so they get your holes nice and centered. We shouldn't have any issues here. And then I got a whole array of countersinks because I know that it's inevitable that I'm going to be doing nonsense like this, so I need countersinks in every size. And number 4. So I gave it a little taper to kind of follow it. And the way I've determined, ordinarily, 2 screws go through here through the chassis plate. I added those holes. There are ordinarily 2 holes there that went into the stock bumper piece, which has been eliminated in favor of this giant thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that's 3mm, and this is 3mm. That's 6mm. That is, we'll call that another 3mm. So I want like a 16. So we want like a 16 button head. There we go. And then we're going to attach the plate. Yeah, 16 should be perfect. We're going to attach the plate from the top. We're also going to find out here if we need to trim any more off the bottom of the grill to give us easier clearance for wires. Now, the bumper is drilled and tapped. So this is going through into steel, which is tapped. I'll hold that down nice and tight. I feel like I'm fairly confident that this will be robusto enough. Well, that's pretty tight. Then, when this is bolted back on, see we got our little fangs, that will go through those holes in the plate. Oh, it's snug. It's going to be super snug. And I want to trim the back of this down. I want to make sure that this is like, ooh, there's just a hair of it coming by. So I'll hold those wires out of the way. We'll shave that up a little. And then once this sinks down, it's these giant boys that go up through the bumper mounts and into holes in that plate. Once we sink that down, I'll use some big flange head lock nuts through that. Bam! I don't think it's going anywhere. I think, you know what? I think we're pretty okay. You know what I also think? I'm going to tell you. I know it is a terrifying place. Voluntarily trying to get inside my head. Look at that with the wires tucked away. Nice. I have in a bin. Show me the bin. LEDs, wiring, and controllers. We have got some circular, those are rock lights. I want to give them rock lights eventually. Here they are. These were replaced in favor of that bar, of this bar. because of both ease of mounting and the fact that the bracketry on these, see how it just like crushes and collapses? I think these suit the aesthetic of him much more than the light bar. And now that I see that winch on there, right? That's what we need, right? Is that in front of the headlights? It's kind of right under the headlight. Now, I have no want nor desire to mount these right now. I figure they just have a hole in the bottom. I can just drill a hole up, well, down through the bumper. I'll figure out how I'm going to drill those holes. That'll be fun. And then just mount them with a screw and maybe a little bit of glue. And then there'll be a light on either side. That was definitely not on the imaginary whiteboard for today. So it is not going to be added to the imaginary whiteboard of today. I am absolutely chuffed with this. Adding to the imaginary whiteboard, though, we're not gonna wire this up because I like to run a winch off of an ESC. I usually use a Reedy SC480X. I got to figure out where I'm going to mount it. It all needs to be wired. I would prefer it be attached to the chassis. That way we can get the wires in all tight. Maybe there's enough room to fit it right here, but that will also require fabrication of that. So that I'm not worried about. I think we're going to need a little bit of a tack via the Dremel. You see, I made a little notch right here. I think I should extend that notch across from like this grill to this grill so that we have places, because we're going to have to run the lighting for the wires for the lighting. We're going to have to run the wires for the winch. That's eventual stuff. We're not doing that right now. We will address the hood, but before we address the hood, I'm going to pull that motor. And I'm going to need to desolder. This is the power for the GT Power sound and light module. I will have to desolder that from there, and I think the other one has a direct power. So anyway, I am going to make that motor into a Fusion Pro so that we have a little more trail speed. All right, we are back together. It's 6 screws to take the body off, and then all of the wires that are attached in between the two. I'm really happy with that. That looks great to me. I wanted a switch to shut the light bar off anyway, so we'll deal with that at a later date. Fusion Pro installed, really actually quite easy. You can see this is determinedly half measures. I looked at the posts and it looked like the problem was because the post doesn't go in far enough into the hole. So it's about a 5.5 millimeter post. I just gave him longer teeth. Now, that does make it a little bit difficult. You gotta kind of finagle them in, but I don't think it can pop open. No, it can't. Yeah, it's a two-hander. Uh-oh. Okay, all right. I'd prefer this because I'm only opening the hood. Power switch is right here. I can mount it down underneath here and then not have to worry. I'd only have to open the hood to deal with the battery. So, I think, get this big old clunker here. I have to tilt that back so that the weight doesn't make it fall over forward. That is definitely that's going to be a process to get to that. All right, now I think before, some of the issues that we were having were a little bit of wire management was helping push the hood open, but it was mostly that flex. It was mostly that twist. There's a gap right here. There's a gap, you can see that gap. I could make a bar that goes across to stiffen this. We'll see if that's necessary. I'm hoping that our longer teeth, much easier to close the hood. I didn't press the button. And I didn't press the button. Oh, okay. You just kind of get under the corner. There you go. the question I have above all other questions, with the GT Power module, what was the line of thinking that the headlights switch off, and this is by design, when you actuate reverse? I can't get my head around that. Other stuff, perhaps potentially worthy of mention, right over here, I was using some Mias hexes that had to be filed down because the Mias nylon axles went through a period of the hexes are too big to fit in the hubs, and they were all I had. So I thought to myself, let's see, because the pin is so far on the inside, I thought, well, that one's dead. Let's see what other hubs will fit. These are just hubs for Capra. And they moved him in about 1 millimeter. So his wheel track just got narrowed by 1 millimeter. Hopefully that is not impactful. Did I finish my thought earlier? I can't remember. I did. I drilled the wheel hubs out. They're one piece. I drilled them out to 5 millimeter. They were like 4.85, and there's a little bit of stub exposed. So yeah, there's a little bit of thread coming out now. The incomplete thought was the wheel covers, which make these wheels. I had a worry, of course, as anyone would, that you're going to be out there on the plains, in the rocks, and one of these things is going to loosen itself up, fall off, and then you're going to have to take them all off because nobody's going to run around with 3 of them. No. Not only that, not only no, but beyond no. You have to, I had to use the tip of this trim tool to like manually get them started. So they lock down like hubcaps. Better than hubcaps, really, because he's thread on. He is such a mess, always. Nice. 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 The Pro should give us a nice bump in speed. Not a huge bump in speed, because we are only going from an 1800 to a 2300. And from the perspective of this, 500 kV is, you know, just under a third of a bump. But we also have a more powerful ESC, 60 amp versus a 40. We have a more powerful BEC, more amps from the BEC. I want to say it's 6 versus 4. Does that sound right to anyone else? It sounds right to me in the moment. That is a good looking gearbox. There's our big Pro up in there. Because he's so big, I fixed something. He doesn't lean to that side anymore. Yes, I took the shocks off. I opened them up. I looked at them. They have really not pumped out that much juice. They are not that low on juice. So I looked at their range of collapse and I thought, how do I feel about losing some of that up travel by putting a spring in there? And I don't want to do it. Also, I don't want to add leafs either, even though I had it all fully taken down. You can do leafs with it mounted. You take the wheels off and you just drop the leafs out. It's not I have them in a bag near my body. There we go. I have more leafs. But in the longer or shorter term, one of those, we're going to replace those axles. These axles have the same leaf spacing as RC 4-wheel drive TF2s, as Boom Racing, 80 millimeter spacing. So I have freedom to change out those axles. While this is super scale, I would not be opposed to being a hair wider, a little bit wider, 4 or 5 millimeters per side. just for that out on the ground's stability. I mean, it's a pro, right? Let's see what we can get. I mean, we don't need it, but we've got it. And why I made mention and why it is pertinent and relevant that I want to change out these axles is mostly because of the pinions. They use a really reduced down the screw pin. The screw pin that goes through the drive shaft. Let's see if we can get him down over here. So these screw pins are reduced down. They use the big thread at the top, so a 2mm driver, but they have a 2mm shank that goes through the pinion. Most are 2.5. Because of that reduction, and because the pin is so close to the housing, I looked through all my bins. None of my other drive shafts, TRX4, Axial, Vanquish, aftermarket steel ones, none of them fit. They fit this end, but they don't fit the axle end. Now, I could machine some down to work, and I kind of want to because this guy gets a squeaking. He gets a little antsy in his pantsy out on the trails, and it is this joint right here. It's the most exposed, gets a little bit of sand, gets a little bit of grit in it, and it just I don't want to hear that the whole time I'm out there. I also wish that I could change the angle, but the way the leaf mounts bolt to these axles, they are locked in that position. You can't clock the axle in any way. If I could clock these axles, I would just modify drive shafts to fit these, and I would clock that rear axle just a little, about maybe even 5 degrees, just to get that angle up. Because where it's coming out of the T-case, we're at about as steep of an angle as you would like to see on a CVD type. I would be all too happy to change them to universals. I would have to custom work pins to fit in the ends. I was hoping I could get some TRX4 on there. There is the angle to the front is a little shallower, but it's really not something that I want to work with. So, he definitely did not lose any weight during today's shenanigans. They are Trial brass 8mm hexes for 10.3 Capra, and they fit perfectly. You have to take these little spacer / bearing shields off, but I just put some little Traxxas Teflon, the 0.5mm Teflon spacers. That way we don't accidentally bottom out and anything grind. So I can feel that's that drive shaft. You know what? I have to do it. So I am gonna meet you out in the wilderness, but I am going to have to, and luckily I think I can. Yes. The rear drive shaft is, well, both drive shafts are immediately accessible. I am going to have to modify one, do something to change out that rear drive shaft, because you watch the surge. I don't know if it's visible. I can feel it more than I can see it. It kind of goes vroom, vroom, vroom. And while watching this thing at very low speed, you can watch the rear drive shaft right where it meets the pumpkin. It goes mup, mup, mup. And I think it's because it's at the limit of what the neck of that CVD will do. It basically needs a universal back there. So, unfortunately, the end that needs to be replaced is at the end that doesn't want to play nicely with anything aftermarket. Yeah, it's definitely a shallower angle in the front, I think, because it's a little longer. Also, a little bit of the way the T-case is set up, the way the transfer case drops out, it's a little lower in the front. It's about I would say maybe 8 millimeters lower. So, I don't know. I'm going to take a look at it, and then I'm going to gather up all my stuff, head out to the spot, and we're going to see how we do. It's going to be, buckle in. We're going to be here for a while. Bruce, Colin, and Nigel and I will meet you out there in the wilds as we wheel away another Wednesday as soon as I figure out what to do with that drive shaft.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome outside. It's you, me, and the boys. We're out here. I think I forgot to plug the sound module in, but that hood really stays close. Well, we're doing what I would call too many things. Yeah, wait. Yeah, Bruce be stealthing. So as you saw, we changed motor. We changed, I got the hood to stay closed. We've got the camera in a low profile mounting position, which, I don't know. I feel like I could go lower. Oh, there's another one. We're going to ignore the puddle rules for down in the bottoms there, because I want to get up to the top of this hill. So, camera is way down low. I can do the most fun thing. Here we go. Harp. Harp. So the preview is about half a second late. I guess the way preview works on GoPros now is, yeah, I'm not driving in that puddle. The way preview works on GoPros now is the GoPro itself sends out like a Wi-Fi network. And then your phone attaches to that Wi-Fi network. What am I seeing? What's coming into shot? That's my leg. Okay. Like I said, we're figuring it out as we go along. It's a process. It's so easy. Okay, so first point, on the preview, there's no grid, and I'm super used to the grid. So I'll figure that out. Oh. Yeah, that bottom one is super empty. This one is not. I bet walking in that would be a terrible idea. I have to learn where to point, because the camera is about belt buckle height. Now we could, yeah, if we could get the camera down about there, we'd be onto something. Oh, it was made for us. It was made for us. I'm pretty sure we're doing 4K and some frames. We're gonna, oh, let me tell you something. That breeze is real nice. Also, as soon as I rolled up, I thought, man, I need more leaves. Oh, what's going on here? What's all this then? Bruce is not rolling solo. He's got the soon-to-be departing companion, the emo. So last time out, Wednesday prior to this, when I came out, the wife was kind enough to come with me, you know, just for the walk. And she saw me, she just sideswiped me. She saw me driving and she said, I could do that. And I said, well, I've got something of a pretty good scale. Come on, get out in front of me so we can, we'll go through, you know, that counts as a puddle. I see 2 puddles. We'll get Colin and Nigel to work. The emo has just an all blacked out, creepy, I call them sleep paralysis demons. It's got a sleep paralysis demon for a driver. Not as paralyzing as what's in the Guillemon. The Ghoulie Moo pilots are terrifying. I hope the boys are getting good footage. That's a good puddle. Now, this is something we don't get to do all the time because puddles don't last very long around these parts. And the contraption, the gantry that I'm running for the camera is, that counts. Sploop. I want to say with the phone, probably just got rear-ended. Probably. Oh, that puddle is gross looking. It's like on the what? It makes the like brown stripes behind the tires. On the one hand, what am I seeing? That's my own hand. On the one hand, I would like the camera to be lower so I can get even lower angle because I'm on a lanyard to save my neck. I would like to be down closer to here. But again, the height, that's me at full crouch trying to get down there. I have this fear that I'm going to get rear-ended again. You push this. There we go. Yeah, so I've got to have the camera out a little, like the balance on it is good, but I have to keep it out a little further because it keeps, I keep putting my own leg in front of it. It's not something I'm used to. It is much easier to see the frame. There's a bit of parallax because we're shooting, or no, parallax isn't the word. I'm thinking of whatever word it is that, you know, that fisheye effect. Oh yeah. Yeah, that Emo X is real big. Real big. I think we can navigate up right about there. Editing these takes a surprisingly long amount of time because I'm familiar, I'm comfortable with what is in the frame is the frame. And when you shoot these action cameras, you're cropping out about 80% of it. You got this. He doesn't got this. I just moved that rock out of the way pretty handily. Yeah, you're gonna have a bit of an easier time at this than I am. Way. I see it. I see it. Okay. Bruce is gonna move some rocks out of the way. I don't know why, but he feels a little less. I think I almost hit the camera on the ground. Who? What? Hey. He feels, you know, he's Bruce, so he's a bit tippy. I'm going right where you are. If I can make it without rolling. There we go. I see a little narrow. Yeah, following him up hills, this is much easier. There we go. There we go. We're gonna test that microphone's ability to isolate wind. I'm gonna say that this does not qualify as a puddle because these are the very things that just a week ago, I gotta point down here, I gotta remember, we were right over there and this went all the way. So all that water has already, I don't know if they let it out. I don't know if it just settles that fast. I'm not a water guy. I don't know how any of this works. Well, I have a fundamental and basic understanding of the hydrologic cycle. Soaks into the ground, goes into the water table. Question marks. we drink it, I guess. Then it somehow there's after the question marks, it makes it evaporation, I guess. It becomes clouds. We have some very small amount of clouds today. Oh, okay. It's not that big of a difference. We're talking about, the camera's about 2 feet lower than it was before. Oh, it's huge. It's huge. And, oh, did I mention? I don't know if I mentioned. I made his hatch. His back door doesn't fly open anymore. I hear the emo flying up on us. It's coming by on the double track. I put the emo on a 2S, and it is still, because there's an Axe V2 3300 in the emo, it is still, Bruce is on a Pro, Fusion Pro 2300 and 3S, and that emo is still much faster. I was hoping I would slow it down a good bit by running it off an old 5200 2S pack, but as you can see in here, wait, all right, we're gonna do a drag. All right, go emo. How fast can you go? I think we're pretty close to the same speed, I think. The emo just 4 links itself away. I am definitely, oh, okay, here's what I gotta try to do. Oh, all right. So it's not what I had anticipated. Basically, from my knuckles down, my left hand is falling asleep. This is a conditioning issue. I've got to get used to this. As you all well know, I'm a tripod man. Get that tripod set up. So now I'm holding with the right hand, reaching across the top and steering with the left hand. Whew. Oh. Even just the motion of holding the left arm up. You trail guys? Respect. Because I am, and I have definitely mentioned this on live streams and etc., I am as far from ambidextrous potentially as one could get. Like, I am right-handed. I'm wondering if we'll be able to see the emo and my big feet in Bruce's rear view mirror. Oh yeah, we went down that, yeah. I feel like I've been here before. Yeah, we made this little climb right up here. Whoa! No! I was not looking. Also, I will mention, shout out, somebody hit me up on Instagram and turned me on to Skeletra, I guess that's how you would pronounce it. It's like Strava, but for this, and I am on board. Is it running right now? It is not, because I want to see what using the phone as live view is going to do to the battery of the phone. I want to see how that's going to impact the battery of the GoPro. I have a lot of questions. I am not in a hurry to go spend $300 on, they make a vest for this. You know they do. They make a vest that's basically for Steadicam attachment, and it just, you know, it'll feed out to like a 1/4x20. And I could just make a mount on the bottom of the radio, and it would be weightless right now. And honestly, we're only a few minutes in. If we were at like the 40-minute mark right now, I would seriously be considering the expenditure of that vest to hold this radio. Because I can lift some relatively heavy things. This is getting heavy. Yeah, what I can't believe, when I swapped in that Pro, I changed opinion. I know I changed opinion, but did I mention that I changed opinion? It was whatever pinion comes with the gearbox. So 14 tooth, I just exchanged it for a Robinson 14. He's so quiet. Or is he the same volume he ever was, just the emo has got a nice cross coffee grinder going. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, as I figure where we're sitting. Here's the plan. We'll take you guys outbound, the two of us out here walking. It's near perfect. That sun up there is a warm one, but conditions are just about perfect for this. Probably around 70 degrees, quite sunny, as I think you can tell. We'll take you out to the big lake, the one overlooking the airport. And I will evaluate from there in terms of battery life, in terms of arm life. I gotta swap again. Okay, now I'm on cruise. Yeah, okay, perfect use of the shadow there for a second. I don't know if it was in frame. You can see the apparatus. That would be my plea to thee. If you have suggestions, if you do this, right? Let me know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up as I go along. This would be very easy to do were all of the equipment not involved. And I forgot to put his bungees back on his roof. Dag nabbit. My plan was to detach the cameras and just strap the rigs to his roof for the trip back. Bruce is great at carrying stuff. That 23, that Pro is so smooth. I don't know if it's the more power from the speed control. It's working. It's just working. Treps. What's that creosote smell again? We got the snare up there on the mountains. Whew. Yeah. I am feeling it. I have a lanyard on. I mentioned. I think I mentioned. That's why I can't get lower angle. Whew. Okay. Let me see if I can read this in the brightness. Okay, it looks like the phone battery and the GoPro battery are going down at about the same rate, which kind of works out. Whoa, Bruce, easy now. Gotta watch out for that emo, that thing's wild. I don't know if the two fellas out here, well, if we also count Colin and Nigel, if the four fellas are really showing how soft this terrain is. But I gotta come off a cruise. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna take a minute here. My from about my left shoulder down is I think it might be dead. I think it might be dead. Okay, all right. I can physically feel the blood returning to my fingertips. He's so quiet now. What a difference the Robinson pinion makes. Or the Pro. Or I tightened the bolts back down on the gearbox better than I did the first time. That was my whole leg. And you know me, I don't like to be in the frame. Whoa! trying to find the right cruise speed. There we go. There we go. And I can't swing my hand. That goes right in front of the frame. Ooh. Ooh. Rubber side down, Bruce. Yeah, little washboard. I mean, sure, cosmetically, Bruce has got this in the bag, but if we were just talking about general capability, the cross is definitely going to get you farther, for sure. Big old, well, I mean, I think the scale is actually pretty close. Like, I think a Cherokee, I keep hitting my leg on the camera. I think a Cherokee versus an FJ. I was pulling into Costco gas a couple days ago, and, okay, I gotta do this manually. And there was a guy in the same blue and white FJ40 going to buy gas at Costco gas, and they really are tiny. Like, this looks big because it's effectively 1/7 scale. I think Tamiya makes a 10th scale one. These are really small. 90-inch wheelbase. I mean, that's gonna be great in car. I tell you what, that's gonna be great in car. On the one hand, I watch him driving and I go, man, he really needs more leafs. But he's so fun. He's getting an axle swap though. Oh. I don't remember. I don't remember anything. Did I mention that before we headed out, I filled the drive shaft ends, the CVD ends, with of both drive shafts, so 4 ends, I filled them with bicycle chain wax, and he is not making a squeak. So I'm not a trail guy yet. I'm a barely starting off trail guy. That's my hack. There's my pro tip for the day. Fill your drive shaft ends with bicycle chain wax before you go out. Those things are not making a sound. I applied it with an old paintbrush. I'm really thinking about it. Will make it the second. It will make his gearbox the second most expensive thing that we've bought for Bruce. Got a little aggressive. Man, now I'm gonna have to start shopping the internet for one of those steady vests. Okay, little speed to get up it. Oh, that was more packed in. That was nice. Here it comes. Here it comes. There we go. So Bruce is toting 2 backup batteries in the back. One for him and an emergency for the emo. Okay, it's pretty gnarly down there. Where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do? Oh, this isn't even washboard. This is just tractor. Okay, we are gonna make a 180 here, as I can recognize a beehive from a great distance. And me and Bruce, we're getting simpatico, because I know we need to turn right down here. Harder lines for harder folks. Bruce has got to take those beauty lines, and the emo on those big swampers just not even trying. Yeah, right over. Oh, okay. Pause here for a moment where I'm not going to get rear-ended. There we go. So if you ever see those white boxes right there, those are the beehives. I have also definitely noted that cruise control is not a feature. Cruise control is an absolute necessity, because in those sections where I have to switch the cruise off and I'm using what I guess we would call manual throttle, oh, it puts the arm to sleep so fast. Okay, speed up a little, catch up to this guy. There we go. This is, of course, as I'm hoping, I hope the Sony is crisp enough to capture it on in-car. That is indeed Shaker MT of Montana. That is his emo, which will be gone real soon relative to this, heading off to Montana. So it's nice that it got to come out and have a wonderful Wheelin' Wednesday with me and you and Bruce and Nigel and Colin, and even the wife back here. She said that she had great trepidations and fears. She said, what if I can't drive? And I was like, you drive a real car. That is significantly more difficult than driving a toy car. I said, you have to commute to work 28 miles each way. This is relaxing. When I have to drive the kids somewhere in the car and it takes 10 minutes, it fills me with anguish is the word. It's not stress, it's not anger, it's anguish. It is one of my very least favorite things. And we have covered some distance. Oh, how far? My tracker. I am running a tracker. Ooh, I wonder if Skeletra makes a compatible watch app. If they make it for the watch, we're in business. Ooh, I gotta get a thumbnail too. Ooh, I think I know where. I see the overlook. I've just stopped watching Bruce altogether. He's just kind of handling things on his own. It is a lovely day. And if the couple bouts of this we've done in the past are any indication, the batteries in both of these guys should be more than enough. 5,200 in one, 4,300 in the other. I think we're gonna have to cruise. What do we got? All right, Bruce is gonna take the lead here. We'll come across. Have I been across this? No. Yes? No. It does all start to look alike after a little while. This one's still got quite a bit of juice in it. No, I would remember that big floodgate up there. Oh, here comes the emo. Just like a Cherokee, am I right? Just zooming by. That was like a scale tree. Oh, it was good. Oh, it was a good echo. This links up. I wonder what the little yellow thing is. What's that? What's that yellow thing? That's a cat. Ooh, there was some sauce in there. Oh, I'm letting Bruce take over. Okay, here's what I need. Oh, is that possible? I need. Yeah. Okay. On a radio link, we need to bifurcate the Radio Link RC4. I know that the unit that the steering wheel is on is detachable. It's on a ribbon cable, okay? I need an extension for that ribbon cable about 4 feet long, and I want to mount my steering wheel independently of the radio so that I can steer with one hand, and then it won't really, then I can hold the radio with the other hand. Do you see what I'm saying? I need a two-handed controller, because I'm using a thumb lever to steer, and I think any function other than physically supporting this apparatus is what's doing me in. You know, hey, maybe it's not a problem. You give me another couple shots at this, and I'll be that, what was it, Simpsons? One giant arm, one skinny arm. I'll have a giant arm and a skinny arm. Is that a bona fide bridge? I think I see a bridge. I'm going this way. I gotta go the easier ways. Yeah. Still constantly evaluating. On the one hand, which is not my left hand because that one's dead, I would like to get even lower angle. This 2 feet lower is huge, but I would like to see lower. But I think I would literally be kicking the camera. Now, if we were doing slow-mo close-up rock crawling, I think this altitude is pretty great. But I want to be down there. My back can't do that. My back is old. This stuff barely works. I see the spot. Red gate. Red gate. I have photos of my bike leaning up against that gate, and everything else around here looks completely different. I wish I could take you there. There used to be an old railway bed, probably where we are now. For the rest of the world that's not America, about 500 meters to my west, which would be like directly behind me. And it's all gone now because this is all part of like a water settling. This is the watershed. So they maneuvered a bunch of stuff around, and that whole thing is gone. There also used to be part of a railway bridge where it crossed the Santa Ana River, where it was just pilings. Look how cool this bridge is. I'm so excited to drive over this bridge. There's also like the world's biggest K-rail up here. This is just pure adventure. And the filming is part of it for me, you know? It's all content, as they say. But I'm not gonna be a fool and say that it wouldn't be easier if I was just letting this thing dangle around my neck as I drove. It's interesting. I did not expect the bridge to be dirt. They got me with this one. I was like, concrete or wood, but no, they definitely drive tractors over this. So, based on consumption of battery, I think Skeletra will be safe in the future. I am going to check to see if they have a watch version. That's the dream. Yeah, that's a... oh, that's right. Southern California is the only place where they call them K-rails. Most of the world was like, what? Jersey barriers? That big thing looming up there? That's not a proper K-rail. It's like somebody made one 50% bigger and then cut it in half. When we get a good rain and the water's coming down, it comes down right through here and it's amazing. But this means they're not letting water down from the dam. I think I see a slot roughly our size to get past. There's the big lake coming up. So this is where basically the beginning of the Santa Ana comes down right up in, oh, I'm doing it again, right up in there. You go around that little corner is Seven Oaks Dam, an earth belt dam, which I'm not saying that's not a proper dam, but you know, it's not Hoover Dam. And when you look at it from satellite photos, it doesn't look like there's any water behind it. I think, yeah, right here. You can see that is definitively a bike tire tread right there. And now some Bruce through there. Now we'll let the big boy go through. It was like it was made for us, and you walk right through. I know this is listed as like a walking path. For those who were here, oh, can I get high enough? Oh, there's the double-edged sword of the very low camera angle. Right over there is where the airport is. I don't know if that would even show. It also looks like there's a giant rock in the water down there now. I don't know how a giant rock would have ended up in the water down there. Yeah, so in one of the members shows, I keep forgetting, we came from the top side, where you start way up there and come all the way down. It's too far. It's shorter to walk this way. That's a big puddle. It's a big puddle. Oh! Bruce just tried to eat a rock. Ooh, it's got the that is the stuff. And by the stuff, I mean the stuff that gives Bruce his signature scent. That is the Bruce signature scent. It's a little bit of greenery, gets a little watery, but puddle rules. Puddle rules are puddle rules. Oh, water's pretty clean. Water's not too bad. Ooh, it's very smushy when you step in it. Very smushy. I'm gonna go right down this wheel track. Oh, if we're gonna give birth to some squeaks, we're gonna do it right now. I think I use Squirt. I've got Squirt and Smooth for the aficionados of bicycle chain wax. White Lightning would work fine. Whatever's available near you, because the water draws us near. And if we can manage to do this beyond spring, there's definitely, well, maybe the big guy, just the big guy behind us, this might keep water in it during the summer. So you can see, oh, I hope it'll zoom in enough. So you can see water line right there at the peak of it. And mind you, this isn't natural. This is let down from when it rains a lot. I hear the wife getting a snack. The water was all the way up, almost to the top of where that little road goes down. So I don't know exactly, you know what I'm doing. Yeah. I don't know if I can huck one out far enough to where we can see it. There he goes. That's pretty deep. All right, that's pretty deep. It made the shugalunk. So I'm telling you. I tell everyone and anyone who will listen. You need just one relatively go fast thing in your life. It's a nice counterpoint to things that are built specifically to go very slow. If that thing that goes a little fast can go about this fast, honestly, from what I'm finding out here, that might be fast enough. I mean, it's a good time. It really is. Like I say, I could record all day until the camera runs out of battery, until the phone runs out, until the camera in the car runs out, till everything runs out. But we're going to bring Wheelin' Wednesday to a close here. At this juncture, we're going to take a nice loop back around to the car, which will take about another 45 minutes to an hour. My left arm has left the chat. So, oh, wait, can I do it? Oh, wait, no, we're too low to the ground. We lost focus. Can I focus by tapping on this? No. Yeah, we've lost focus a little bit. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for continuing to participate in the content, in its creation, in its consumption, in all of the ways. Thank you for joining us out here outside the canyon once again. I'm genuinely, hopefully this is my weekly thing, and maybe they won't all get recorded and they won't all end up on Wednesdays or Sundays or whenever we decide to come out and do this, but it's a beautiful, I mean, look, just look at that. It's pretty good. So I thank you all so much, so very much again. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And in between now and then, please, one and all, do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. Get out and trail. Like, if you don't have rocks near you, and you've seen where we've been driving, I don't really have rocks near me. I do have rocks at home. But we do have this. And in the grand scheme of things, this isn't too bad, is it? This isn't too bad. This looks all right. We'll see you in the next one, everybody. Thanks for coming along with us.